Frog here, and welcome to Hidden Gems, where I go searching through the archives of mobile game markets and decide whether or not these games we find are trash or treasure. Now, I've been gone for a little while. My last Hidden Gems was maybe 5 months ago, but that hasn't stopped any of these games from coming onto the market. And I think today I've got a really fancy one for you guys. It's kind of dungeon crawler, kind of RPG-esque. So, without any further ado, let's just get into a game. Soul Knight. Soul Knight, made by Chili Room, is a Skyview dungeon crawler shooter all rolled into a cute 16-bit world. The focus of the game is to travel through rooms defeating monsters, dodging fire, and making your way down deeper floors as you collect bizarre and awesome weapons, and power-ups that help you survive the further down you get. You have a number of characters to choose from, although you first start with just your classic knight. Each character has special powers like the elf, who shoots more powerful and focused arrows, knights, who shoot 2 guns for a moment, and paladin, who creates a shield that absorbs damage. You find all of these guys in the HUD of the game, as well as items you collect after hitting a certain floor like the safe or the books here. Just like your characters, these two can also be upgraded with varying effects. There's even a pet you bring with you on every run. They don't take damage, which is useful when you're low on health and mana and you don't want to die. I don't know if each pet you buy does anything different though. Now if you happen to download this game and find the answer out, please leave a comment down below to let me know, because I'd really appreciate that. Regardless though, it's great RPG elements. It's like every person you play as, you can strategize to their ability and see who you would like to upgrade. Speaking of hub world though, there's so much in here. You'll get your usual room where you start, as well as a basement that has a haul of what enemies you've encountered, weapons you've picked up, and even pets you've unlocked. There is one occurring currency in this game, gems, and there are a number of different ways to get them in order to buy characters and upgrade them. You do have a daily login bonus from the mailman, something nearly every good mobile game has nowadays. Not mailmen, I mean like daily logins. And after every one, you get gems too, based on how far you got, how many enemies you beat, and how long you were there. So it's just playing the game repeatedly to get the characters and upgrades you like. That's also not a problem, considering every time you play it's a different dungeon, so you don't get bored. And you get to hear that awesome music this game has. Getting back to the review, I think it's about time to talk about the not so good parts of the game. First things first, the biggest problem I came across was the auto aim controls. Now this is something that even in the description of the game on the Play Store they praise. And I'm not saying it's terrible at all, but there is something wrong with it. When you are in a fight with enemies, your targeting system is naturally automatic, leaning towards aiming at the closest enemy to fire at. Doing this keeps your HUD from having 2 joysticks, and especially makes it super easy to hit your targets. Now that's more than fine, but the problem occurs when you don't have any more enemies but these crates here. Well, because you can't aim your bullets at all, it makes breaking these crates so difficult. That part of it is so stupid. It's like having no control over your arms or anything. You can get things out of them, but stuff doesn't show up too often. And in the game there are certain rooms that has statues, like this elf statue here that you can worship for something. That's what the problem is, it doesn't really tell you what the hell these things do. And if these do in fact change stats or something, then show us when we do the praise. Come to think of it, most of the things in this game doesn't get explained. Generally the minor stuff, like what these icons mean per weapon. Like, is this one attack, or is this aim? I was also confused with the vending machine in the hub here. It releases an egg of some kind, and after buying one and opening it though, nothing happened. I thought it was an unlocked pet or something, but nope. Thanks for this game, hard-earned gems spent on what remains a mystery. Anyways, I usually end up just flat out skipping these statues because I don't know what the point is. Not to mention they are expensive, which leads into the next biggest problem I came across, the gold. I have a hard time getting enough gold for the shop or the vending machines. I like these additions though, as well as the ally for hire randomly found. Vending machines are random with either selling potions or weapons, but without the perk of lowering prices of sales, it's super expensive to get anything you can generally buy. Another problem is that if you're not being careful, you can easily run out of mana. It's not too hard to try refilling your mana. The only ways I've found to replenish it though were either the store, vending machines, or chests you find after beating a room of enemies. Breaking the crates could provide some occasionally, but yeah. With everything that I've mentioned, there's still a lot more that I didn't even bring up. I do want to point out that there is a multiplayer for up to 4 people. Only issue is that you all have to be on the same Wi-Fi. So unless you've convinced all your friends to download the game and come over to your house to play this together, your day's gonna probably look like this. Alright buddies, you ready to play? Now, as for the rest of the content, I do actually want to leave it at that for you guys to actually download the game and play it yourself. With everything that I've brought up though, what can we call it? Trash or treasure? First of all, the multiple characters to choose from as well as individual skills each have a nice touch. It's cool that the game offers a free way to collect gems needed to buy characters, but to save up would take a very long time. I do love how the game offers an in-game bestiary and weapons room. The pets, not so much since they all seem to do the same thing. The overwhelming amount of fire shot at you in later stages makes you beg for life potions everywhere you go. But unless you have a potion perk or a shop nearby, which is rare, you won't make it far in the game. You can use melee weapons to block projectiles, but having a potion you can store would be a load of fun. I love how every time you play this game, it's randomly generated stages and items. So it keeps it feeling fresh and maybe not new, but certainly helps in keeping the game not so dull. The no aim function, or at least registry of crates as destroyable obstacles, is a problem. Despite its flaws, it's a pretty well put together game, and given a few tweaks, everything that's wrong with it can be fixed. I'm going to rate this game as a treasure. To note, before I finished this video, they actually updated the game with tons of new stuff. Many things I mentioned were fixed in this update, as well as adding things I never once thought about, like a room where you can craft weapons, a farm spot to grow items. All this stuff is pretty cool, and to know what these things do, I'd say play the game for yourself and find out. With all that said, I hope you guys enjoyed my video. I'm glad that I was able to put something out for you guys again, and I'm glad that you guys will start watching again. With all of that said, I bid you adieu.